For this next activity, we're going to start by looking at Van Gogh's Starry Night in Saint-Remy. Now, line is predominant in his work. He painted in a sculptural manner, and the lines are dashed and dotted, and they're full of colour and life. And this is going to be a focus for our printmaking activity, Gelli printing. But first, let's look at the picture. It's obviously at night. You can see stars, and the way he's done these stars with the yellow dots, or yellow paint, I should say, and then the paint actually in strokes around to show the light coming out. We've got the crescent moon, and we've got the village, and we've got the cypress trees, which are a reoccurring image in his paintings, and he's very famous, and we're going to come and look at those. So we've got lines, night sky. The night sky is done with dark blue, light blue and white. You can see the different flecks of paint. And we've got the yellow gold for the stars, and then we've got the black tree and the focus of the element line. So that's a lot to take in. That's what we're looking at. Line, colour, shape. So now let's have a look at the materials for this activity. We're doing Gelli prints. If you don't have a Gelli plate or you've never used one, don't worry, because you can substitute a Gelli plate for acetate and do monoprinting. But the Gelli plate gives you a better effect, and you've got the sensory element. We're going to use mark making tools, and these are going to help us with our lines. I've got these combs, and on each comb you can see they have a different tooth. So I've got a zigzag tooth, a square tooth, a rounded and a wavy tooth. And if you don't have those, don't worry. You can substitute it for anything that makes a mark. I've also got these, which I've had in my art room for years. These are just foamy painting, mark making tools. And also modelling tools can be used. Anything that makes a mark. So we've got our Gelli plate, mark making tools, a stack of paper, a brayer. A brayer is a roller, but not a soft roller, it's a hard roller. We're going to need scissors and a pen, oil pastels and paints. Now the paints that we use today may not be the ones that you have in your art room. You can use any acrylic paint. The ones that I'm choosing today, I've chosen for a certain reason, so I can cheat a little bit because they've got a small nozzle and it's easy for me to pour the paint out. But in class, I wouldn't be doing it like that. The students would have a plate or a palette with the paint on there, and they would scoop out the paint probably with a popsicle stick. But I'm going to cheat, so that's a little bit different. So to open your Gelli plate, if you've not had Gelli plate before, comes packaged like this. So just pop that open. I keep my packaging to protect them because a Gelli plate is soft. So I don't throw this away. It's good for storage. Now on your Gelli plate, you have acetate on either side. So leave one side with the acetate on, and you just pull the acetate off like so. Nice and easy. So there's the Gelli plate. So if you don't have a Gelli plate, you can go work straight onto acetate. If you've not had one before, it actually feels like jelly. It's soft. And the sensory part's really important, and you get a really, really good print. But you will have to tell the students to be soft and gentle. You don't want them digging in or wrecking it. You can be nice and gentle, but they can feel it and touch it. It's totally sensory. So colour choices. I'm going to start with purple. I'm going to start with a purple paint. I'll put a little bit on. Now, if you use two colours instead of one, it will just give your paint a little bit more depth. So I'm putting a crimson on because I know purple is made out of blue and red. So I know that they're going to go together. And I'm going to mix it straight on the plate like that. So mix the paint, and that gives the purple a different depth. Right, now with the brayer, just smooth it over to the edges. If you happen to use too much paint, it's good to have a bit of old paper or newspaper next to you, and with the excess paint you can just roll your brayer out onto the paper and thin the paint out that way. Right, so I'm just smoothing that out. Right, now the fun part. So I'm going to start with one of my tools. Now, remembering that Van Gogh worked in line, short dashed lines, I'm going to do some short dashed lines. And the movement of wind or sky, this feels really, really nice. If you can't, I actually only just got Gelli plates for my art room because I couldn't afford them. So I've started out with 7 and I'm going to share them 1 between 4 students, and then I'm going to get another 7. So there's 1 between 2 students, and I'm going to build up my art equipment. And I often do that. If I want something and I can't afford it, I buy a smaller amount and I build on it. So I can get the good stuff. And now I'm going to go, ooh, like that. And now I might change tools. And now I'm going to take a print. So this will be 1. Hover the paper, place it over the top. You can use your hand or you can use another brayer if you want. You can get a brayer and push it like that, but actually find your hands enough. And the fun part, this is the part that the children love. You've seen what they've done. So that's my first image, 1. I would let the students do 3 or 4, so they work on 3 or 4 pictures at once. So they get 1 good print that they can use as a finished picture, and the other 3 pictures can be used as collage paper, or they can be done in a different way, used in a different way. So there's my Gelli print again. So now this time I'm going to change my colours. I'm going to just go with purple, and I'm going to go with a bit of aqua. Mixing it on the plate. And that's a really nice colour. It doesn't matter that I've got a bit of the crimson left on the roller because it's all going to go together. Okay, rolling it out smooth. I'm just going to do 4 of these now. So I'm going to go, I've done 1 and I'm going to do 3 more. And I think that's my favourite one because it has nice line variety. Okay, so we're going to keep using this, but I'm just going to put it to the side while I explain the next part of the lesson. So we have 4 prints. They won't take long to dry. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to put all of those prints to the side for the moment. And this would be the next lesson. So I want to cut out the cypress trees. I would normally do this freehand, but because I'm older, but the students might need to actually draw it in. So just draw in some tree shapes into some paper or card, maybe different sizes. Or different thicknesses. So there's 3 different tree shapes, and these are going to become stencils. I'm going to cut them out now. Right, just make that a bit better. Just check my cutting. Okay, and remove that. So now I have 3 of the cypress trees. I'm going to go back to my jelly plate, and this is the exciting part. We're going to be working in layers. So we have a layer of printmaking already with the line and the movement, and now we're going to do our second layer, and we're going to introduce shape. These are the shape of cypress trees. So back to the jelly plate. Okay, and I've stuck with cool colours, mainly blues and purples for the night sky, mixing that on the plate. Now, the print that I choose to do, I'm going to choose one with a contrasting colour. So I can see my 4 prints. I don't want to choose the purple and the purple. So I'm going to go the blue, a bluer one. So again, taking your tools and making your wind and line movements. And this feels beautiful. I love it. Okay, so there we go. It feels so good. Really does. Okay, so you take your trees and you place them on your jelly plate. I might even do one in the distance. And one over here. All right, choose one of your previous prints. Just try to match it up a little bit. Doesn't matter if the edges aren't perfect. And press it down. Again, if you have a roller, you can use your brayer. So this is called a second pass. So this is the second pass, second print. Okay, and peeling it back. All right, now it's starting to have depth. You can see the tree shapes, you've got lines, and it's got a lot more interest. So I'm going to do this 3 more times. Okay, there we go. So now we have 4 prints. We'll let them dry and then we'll start the next part of the lesson.